I'm Clint with Swatches Academy, here to give you a rundown of the winter classes that will be starting early January. And what we're looking at here is the main site, swatchesacademy.com. Feel free to go out there to get all the details yourself. Now, all of these classes are 8 weeks long, they're taught online, and they have live feedback in Zoom sessions. So, these are broken down into 3 groups: foundational, intermediate, and advanced classes. Let's start with the foundational classes. First up is a new class for this season, which is form drawing. This one is being taught by me and is one that we have really been wanting to get out for a long time and have had a lot of requests to do something like this. It's just your basic drawing class. Where do you actually start when you want to learn how to draw? And what skills do you actually need? Well, we're starting a fundamentals series and starting with this one. There are 2 main skills that you want to get at this stage: observational drawing and imaginative drawing. Observational drawing will be a lot of practices and exercises that involve how to look at something, break it down visually into things that you can actually draw, and render those things. That would be doing something like this, a study of a location, of a plant, something that you can actually see. The other side of that would be imaginative drawing. It's using forms such as cylinders, cubes, spheres in order to put them together in new arrangements and modify them in order to create something out of your imagination, like this cannon. Now, this class has a theme. It is based around Pirates Cove, and every week you'll go to a different location on the island, learn some new things, and draw things from that location. This is just something that we're very excited about, a way to get a basic drawing class and make it more engaging and make it more fun. If you need proper training, this is where you can either start, or if you're already intermediate and you've been told that you need to brush up on your fundamentals, also a good place for you. Next up, we have digital painting basics. This one is being taught by Nino and is an absolute great place to start if you don't have training in digital painting. Now, he's teaching this in Photoshop. It's also a really excellent introduction to Photoshop, although we have had some students also take the class and do all the work in other painting programs as well. If you are a traditional artist and you already have the traditional skills, but you don't know the digital media, this is where you want to start. There are multiple, I'd say, straightforward but different painting approaches that you can use for rendering things digitally. This will teach you several of those, as well as how to just look for accuracy and control of your drawing and your values as you're painting in the digital media. Next up, we move into the intermediate classes, those down here. First up, let's take a look at material rendering. I'm teaching this one, and this is a personal favorite topic of mine, but we also get some really good feedback, positive feedback on this class. This is about how to just paint things to look correct for that material, such as how do you make painted wood look like painted wood? How do you make gold look gold and metallic, or steel to look metallic? Because a common thing that you'll see in a lot of more junior artwork is that materials all have a very similar plasticky look. Whether it's wood or skin or cloth or metal, it all has a similar look. This class really breaks it down, shows how to do that, but also teaches a lot of methodology that allows you to approach the things over and over again and get good results without a direct reference. So help you break away from the absolute need for references in every situation. A lot of fun stuff here. There's a great student gallery for this class as well as all the other classes at the student gallery link there on the site. Feel free to check that out. Character concept design is a class being taught by Diana. And this is one that we have updated over time. In this case, it is a really cool and fun class that puts you in the seat of being a character concept artist and what would actually be expected and what would the professional workflow be for that. So you would be given a group of possible briefs to choose from on which character you want to do. Then each week you're going to be stepping through the process, progressing it one step at a time, using a lot of guidance with demonstrations as well as annotations, example images, all of that stuff. And remember, all of these classes are being taught by working industry professionals. All of us, we do this for a living, and so we're just teaching you how to do what we do. Moving past character concept design, we move in environment diorama. Now please understand that all three of these intermediate classes are intermediate for a reason. They're not necessarily a great place for a beginner to start. We do recommend some drawing, shading, color theory, basic fundamental skills before jumping into one of these classes. Now, if you're unsure whether you have the skill for any particular class, feel free to leave us a link. You can go over to the FAQ. There's a link there, the About Us. You can contact us there. Just email us your work online. We'll have a look at it. We'll let you know whether we think that class that you have in mind is a good fit, or we can make a recommendation. Environment diorama. A lot of people skip studying how to do nature scenes, and that is important, especially if you want to get an illustration where you have to do backgrounds. So stop skipping on studying this. It's going to be worth it, and it's a lot of fun to do. Now, the problem is most people approach this subject by trying to tackle a big scene all at once, and that's a problematic way of going about it. So we do the reverse. We start small scale. How do we paint rocks? How do we paint a tree? How do we paint a river bank, right? Then once we learn how to do each of the individual things, we put all those things together for the final, and we do a full diorama that puts all the things that you've learned in one little piece. Okay, moving from there, we get into the advanced classes. You really should have all your fundamentals down before you consider any of these. These are aimed for semi-pro level. Those who are either putting together their starter portfolio to get into the industry, or those who are in the industry but they're wanting to polish up their portfolio in order to get higher tier clients. To start with, let's take a look at fantasy illustration. This class is based on creating artwork that would be fitting for a game like Magic the Gathering or Dungeons and Dragons. It will be a character scene in a location, and each week we're going to be progressing it one step further. You're going to start with your basic sketches, your character designs, move into doing your lighting value studies, blocking in your scene, adding the details, right? Every step of the way. This is a demo from the class. I take this one step further each week during the class. So you can be watching that progress and apply that same principle to what you're doing as well. Also get some really great results from the students in this class. You ought to check a look at those when you have a chance. The last one we have up is group mentorship. Again, advanced class for those who are building portfolios. Now, this one is different than all the others for a couple of reasons. One is that it meets every 2 weeks instead of every week. So there are 5 sessions. So think of this as a bi-weekly consult. You send in whatever image you want discussed, then we will go over it. What's going wrong with it? Do we need to improve? What are some ideas to improve it? Do you have questions about it? Get your questions answered during that time. We're simply going to try to be as helpful as possible with whatever you send in. Okay, everyone, that is the breakdown for the winter classes. These are starting January 7th through 14th, depending on which class you're going with. And if you want any more information, it's probably out on the website. Feel free to check out the FAQ, or if you have questions, feel free to put them into a comment to this video. I'll keep an eye on that and try to get those answered as quickly as possible. I appreciate your time. Until I see you in class,